There we go. He's here. He's here.
How are we doing, guys?
Doing great, Joe. How are you doing? How are you coming off a great win right now? You back at home, and it must feel good. You got a crazy knockout, insane highlight. So how you feeling? Where you at mentally?
I feel great. I actually just got back from training. I'm right back to it. I was in the gym on Monday. Still mentally riding the high. It was awesome. The whole week was it was a movie. I couldn't ask for anything better.
Yeah, man. And we couldn't ask for anything better than that kick, dude. That was crazy. And I think Max said that you have the first question mark kick knockout, like knockdown like that in karate combat. So congratulations on that. Something to add to the rest of your accolades. Because as you can see in the back, this man is a champ. He's been around the block for a minute. You fought and you was in Cage Titans for a while, kind of dominating the scene there. You had a few back and forths with the belt, but were able to grab it back up. And then you transitioned to karate combat. What was the mindset on that? What was the mindset of, like, you know what? Like, I've been in cages a while. I've been a champ here. Like, either I can continue or I could go start something new. What was the driving factor of you starting that new chapter?
It's just something that I've always wanted to do, and I never knew what kind of moment it would take for me to be like, all right, now's the time to do karate combat. Nor did I really know how to connect with karate combat. I had a buddy that had competed for karate combat, so I hit him up. I was like, you got to connect. I can just talk to somebody, see if they're interested. Sure enough, I shot Leo a message, and he was all in.
Yeah, I mean, I don't see why they wouldn't be all in, man. You see all that gold behind you, but talking about, like, coming in, what are the differences that you feel, or is there any, like, extra preparation you felt like you had to do coming into karate combat versus when you were fighting in Cage Titans?
Honestly, the biggest thing was just the shorter rounds, and I just had to keep mentally preparing for, like, having my foot on the gas. I've had a lot of title fights. I've had a lot of 25-minute fights. So, 3-minute rounds, as nice as it is to not have to have the cardio for a half hour of a fight, it is also almost more time, because it's like, all right, you have way less time. So you have to make a statement, whether you end up getting the decision or finishing somebody in 40 seconds. Like, your foot has to be on the gas.
Yeah, 100%. Mac, you got any questions? I'm gonna swing it around a bit.
No, just a comment that, like, that's honestly such an important thing to think about, because also it didn't go for the decision for you, but the high scoring criteria is effective aggression. The person that has the more effective activity, is causing the most damage, being the most active, is going to win in karate combat. And then it goes to significant striking. Kicks are scored a little bit higher, but that mentality you had was so important. So it's been kind of talked about a little bit on your social media, but, like, let's have you talk about it here. What do you think about, like, people thinking that you were more of a grappler going into this? And does anyone think that you're just a grappler now?
It's always funny to me, man. For years, everybody's like, "Oh, he's just a grappler. He's just a grappler." Early on in my pro MMA career, I fought a really good striker, and everybody said the same thing. And then I ended up picking him apart for 3 rounds and beating him by unanimous decision. And then even my second fight on The Ultimate Fighter was a striking fight until I got the submission. I'm very technical on the feet, and I feel like I'm not a big muscular guy. Like, I'm not just swinging overhands all day. So I feel like, people see the technique and just kind of assume, like, oh, it's all a setup or a trap to get it to the ground. But I'm comfortable striking with anybody in the world. I've trained with world-class strikers, and they're like, oh, like, how did you get into striking? And I'm like, I started grappling, I got in MMA, and then the striking obviously comes with it. I don't think anybody thinks I'm a grappler anymore, but, I love jiu-jitsu. I train jiu-jitsu 5-6 days a week. But I'm happy I was able to get into karate combat. I'm a fighter, man. I just want to do a little bit of everything. I want to do some boxing fights one day. I want to do it all.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I think one of the reasons they probably think you're a grappler is that quick ass victory you had on your first fight on Ultimate Fighter. You literally choked them out like 2 seconds. So I mean, I don't think it is unwarranted to think that you're a great grappler, but also you have shown that you are a great striker as well. And, like, big moments like that, right? Like, you had a big moment against Brandon Jenkins. You had a big moment in the beginning of Ultimate Fighter, your first fight for Team Cormier, and you got that. How does it feel like, and where's your mind at in those moments? Like, are you just locked into a zone? Or is it very, like, meticulous? I know some people feel like they just go into a flow state, and some are very strategic and are, like, playing chess with their opponent. Where's your mind going those insane moments that you put yourself in?
So my best performances, especially this Karate Combat debut, the first fight on Tough, I was just luckily enough I was in that flow state, and I try to recreate that every fight. Like I'm chasing that feeling. One of my buddies who trains jiu-jitsu like purely, I was asking me about like the Prajeda knockout, how at the very end it seemed like he was in that flow state, like nobody could touch him. He was like the guy. And I told him I was like that flow state, it's something that any fighter can tell you is the greatest feeling ever because you feel like you could knock out anybody, you can out wrestle anybody, and it almost feels like slow mo. Like you're watching punches come by, and you're like, oh, that's it. So I'm just chasing that feeling every time I fight. I'm trying to just wipe my mind clean, not think of anything, because I know if I just go out there and fight to the best of my ability, I'm the best in the world.
I respect that answer. My man, I'm gonna swing it to my man MMA Picker. I know he got some good questions for you. I'm gonna swing it on down to you, buddy.
Perfect. Let's go. I basically live on my Xbox when I'm not working or training.
Oh yeah.
About Giannetti gaming a little bit. What are you playing these days? What are you excited for coming up?
So I'm finally going to be playing the new Dragon Ball game that came out last week. I had it delivered to my house, but obviously I was in Utah. I was fiending all week to play that. I'm going to be big on that. And then, Black Ops is coming out. I'm a little on the fence about how it's going to be, but I'm hoping it's good. There's a lot of good games coming out. New Assassin's Creed, I think, just got pushed back a little bit, which I'm bummed about, but I am hyped for it. New Sonic game coming out, man. I love it all. I've been pretty good about not spending too much on video games lately, but after that fight and all these games coming out, I told my fiance, I was like, all right, I got like 4 or 5 games coming in soon.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you got a nice little bonus for that kick too. But yeah, once again, we're still in each other's questions. I love it. We're always on the same wavelength, me and MMA Pickers. So I'm gonna jump to this one before you jump to it. I see a bunch of anime in the back. We're both big Pops fans.
Let's go.
So I need to know 2 things. What's your favorite anime to watch? What's your go-to, and what's your favorite pop that you own right now? Your favorite Funko?
So my favorite anime, it's super basic answer. It's what I grew up with, is Dragon Ball Z. Everybody around my age says that, but I love it. I grew up watching it. It's honestly a big reason I think that I'm so in love with fighting. And it's so funny because like back in the day, I tell my buddies that I train with now that are obviously younger than me, I'm like, you don't get it. I had to go to the library to find a VHS and just hope it was the next set of episodes after the ones I just watched. Like, you don't get it.
100%.
Now everybody just throws on Funimation or Crunchyroll, like, yo, you see this new anime? I'm like, yeah, I saw it because it's right there.
Exactly.
And my favorite pop figure is probably, I don't know if you could see it. It's the top right. It was an Amazon exclusive. It's Goku with the halo over his head because he's dead. And
Yeah.
He's eating a bowl of ramen.
I know exactly which one that is. I got a few. I think I got 1 or 2 Gokus. But I would say my favorite, what's crazy is my favorite one is a collab one.
I love the priorities though. Like you have your Funko Pop collection above your belts. Like
everybody's got to see those first.
Yeah. My favorite one is probably the Pochoko. I think that's how you say the name. Pochoko Deku is the Sanrio collab with My Hero Academia. Yep. That's one of my favorite ones. It's not even an exclusive. I have some fire exclusives, but that's one of my favorite ones. Also, Dragon Ball Z is my favorite anime, so I'm with you there.
Rock on. I just dropped the Beast Gohan pop figure. I got to pick that one up.
Yo, I seen that one too. I also seen the Sonic game that you're talking about, and it really took me back. That was my first game I ever played. I have two games. The first games I ever played was Sonic and Echo. And if you're old, you know what Echo is. It's a game about dolphins. It's not exciting. It's like Sonic in the water, basically. You literally just
So you had the Dreamcast.
No, well, Echo was on Sega as well. It was on Sega and Dreamcast, but it started on Sega Genesis. That's the original Echo I had was on Sega Genesis. Yeah, I'm old. I'm 33. I'll be 34 in March. All right, we getting there. We're getting up there in age. All right, but listen, those are my first 2 games. So when I seen the new Sonic, it's a Knuckles game or something like that, right? It's
Sonic and Shadow. Yeah,
Sonic and Shadow. It looks crazy. I just seen it yesterday. It's crazy that you brought it up, but. Insane, love to hear it. A lot of people see that's another thing is we found Macaco Flow is also Arturo Vergara, who fought in the car with you as well. Yep. He fought Akhmadov. Dang, I was trying to throw both his name. Crazy, insane fight. But he's also a huge fan of Dragon Ball Z. He does the Kamehameha during his like press conferences and stuff, and he's also a huge anime fan. So I think there's a big correlation there between the two, right? Between like fighters and like an anime? Go ahead. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, you're good. I think it's just, for the basic, shonen animes, it's just about persevering and going through hard things. I feel like, a lot of fighters deal with that, and then you even have some that like, especially like Dragon Ball Z, like you're talking Gohan, Cell Saga dealing with self-doubt, and Goku's like, that's it. That's all that's in your way is you. Like, get out of your own way and you're set. You're a fighter whether you're riding a high off a win or in a low. Like, I feel like it's very easy to relate to.
Yeah. Now, I've always been a big believer in that the best morality that was ever taught to me was from anime.
100%.
And every episode has some type of moral that you can pull from it, some type of lesson that you can pull from it. So that's real dope.
As long as you weren't following Master Roshi too quickly.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, if you follow the entire Dragon Ball was really on that line of like perversion.
Yeah. They were
really close. And it's a lot with anime. It's a different culture over there when it comes to stuff like that. But not to get too deep into that, but yeah, definitely insane. Mac, you got any questions? I got quite a few more, but
I think one of the big questions is you got to win over a ranked opponent in your debut. You got a bunch of belts behind you. Do you want a fast track way to that title shot, or do you want to like get more time to play with that pit?
Yeah, I want to fast track to a title shot, man. I want to fight the best. I want to be the best. And that Karate Combat belt with the light up in the middle, that thing looks sick. As soon as they posted it, I was like, I need that. I need that hung up here. I think either way, whether I get fast tracked to a title shot or I got to fight my way through the rest of the rankings, I'm going to be fighting the best guys in the world either way. So I don't really think it matters. I'm going to assume I'm number 7 now because Jenkins was like number 7. So if I got to fight 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, those are going to be the best 6. If I have to fight number 2 and then the champ, those are going to be the best 2. So either way, I'm going to be fighting some bad dudes. So whatever gets me to the belt closer.
We're debating right now in the rankings council where to put you. Some people are arguing for it to put you higher than that.
I mean, hey, like I said, whatever gets me closer to a title shot, I think it'd be really cool.
I just want to say, don't undersell yourself.
No, definitely not. If what I'm honestly thinking is like, I'll take a number 1 contender fight next. But I got to try and be humble. That's why I have my fiance is not home. She's usually the one that humbles me.
Yeah, I feel like you deserve a contender fight. I mean, the pedigree, the amount of defenses that you've had, the amount of bounce backs that you've had, right?
Yeah, and I feel like the pit's rule set is just, I feel like I'm going to thrive there. You know what I mean? It's people always, I feel like a lot of people that are new to it kind of think of like, oh, it's like striking in the pit. And I'm like, well, no, because there are takedowns and scrambles, there's ground and pound. But the biggest thing for me, and, like Prez said it before the fights, like, it makes it a fight, the entire thing. Whether you're 3 or 4 rounds or anything less than that, you're fighting the entire time. Nobody's laying on each other. Nobody's holding each other. Obviously it keeps the entertainment factor higher. But I'm a fighter. I tell people all the time, I'm a fighter trying to be a martial artist, but at the end of the day, I'm a fighter. I've been in fights where I have a guy in side controller mount, and as soon as the crowd starts booing, like, I'll give up the position and land a few elbows because I'm like, I'm not here. I don't get paid by the hour. I'm trying to get in and out. I'm trying to entertain people. And the pit's, rule set kind of flows that way.
Yeah, honestly, that's where a lot of like MMA fighters get, because MMA fighters transition very well to Karate Combat's rule set, but where they get into trouble is with the takedowns because of that jiu-jitsu mindset that's leaked into the MMA meta where it's position over submission.
Yep.
So when they take them down, they immediately try to go to a grounded position and establish that position. But by that time, you're already getting stood up.
Exactly.
In Karate Combat, it's damage and control. You're causing damage and you're controlling your opponent, but the damage comes first. If you go to the ground, you got to pop up right immediately and get off some shots.
Exactly. And it's like I said, it forces it to be a fight, and that's just what I'm about. I got into the sport to be the best fighter. I might not be the best salesman or showman or whatever, but like, I'm coming out here to do damage and win fights. I don't want to, that's why when I have close losses by decision, obviously, whether I think I won or lost, I'm like, that sucks, but I should have done more to make sure we didn't go to the cards.
And for us New Englanders, since Ross, who fought out Rhode Island, is no longer champ, they're looking for another champion.
You're goddamn right. We got to get another belt over here.
All right, let's get into it. I'm from New York. So we got to do this.
Hey, Ross represents.
Ross is from New York. Yes, he is. But I think New Yorkers kind of separate ourselves from New England for a specific reason. And we all know that reason. So you must tell me, do you align with my little brother? And are you a Patriots fan?
100%. 100%. Come on.
I respect it and hate it at the same time, but I'll learn to respect it. All right.
I'm so spoiled as a sports fan. It's actually ridiculous.
I mean, I can say the same. I'm a Yankees fan. I'm a UConn men's basketball fan. I'm a Giants fan. The only team that has never given me anything in life is the Orlando Magics. Okay, that's the only thing.
I'll do you one better, and I'll talk a quick story about one of my buddies. He's actually who helped me with my karate style and gave me my black belt. We used to live together about 6 years ago, before I was on Tough. He's from Massachusetts. He is one of the biggest Detroit Lions fans I have ever met. Always has been, and we moved in together, and I found out one Sunday while we were watching football, and I was like, why are you rooting for this team? They're god awful. But sure enough, his entire life he has rooted for the Detroit Lions. And this season, in the end of last season, he's got hope. He's like, dude, the Lions are the favorite this week. And I'm like, you're doing something right. You committed. You deserve something.
Something is awfully going wrong with football because the Bears and the Lions are having a great season, which is I don't know what's going on. This does not happen. There's something weird going on, right? But yeah, man, exciting to hear. So are you all around Boston? Is Sox, Bruins, everything?
All around, my whole life I've gone to every game I could go to as a kid, and now I got grown up money. So when I got a little spare money, I'm like, we're going to a Bruins game. I haven't been to the Bruins in a couple of years, so that's on the list. I've been to like 5 Red Sox games this year. They broke my heart, but it was a fun season.
I'm a Yankees fan, as you can see. I can't
do Dodgers, Yankees in the World Series.
I was very heartbroken last night with that. One, all my parlays went to dog crap, and then 2, they let him homer in on the win. I was literally here. I wanted to punch every monitor I have in front of me, bro. I was so upset. Last night was terrible for me. Football in general. Baseball. It's been a bad week for New York in general, to be honest. The Liberty are the only thing that looks nice in New York right now. The Giants lost, the Jets lost, the Mets got smacked, the Yankees just lost in the last minute. Like, the Liberty are the only thing that are saving us. And Sabrina got that at the last minute. So I'm not the happiest with New York teams right now. But like a true Boston guy, you are all around the board, and I respect it. My little brother, who's actually from New York, is an all Boston fan. All Boston, everything, even Boston College. I'm like, what is wrong with you? Like, we were born in Brooklyn. Why are you, bro? I have 2 brothers. Listen, here's my family, right? 2 of my brothers are Patriots fans. 2 of my me and my other brother are Giants fans. My dad, Steelers fan. My uncle, Miami fan, and my other uncle, Giants fan. It goes down. If I showed you our group chat during the fall, oh my gosh, it's insane. It's just your team sucks. Fuck you, all types of like all the whole time, bro. So it's insane. I've been dealing with Patriots fans my entire life, even though I've never lived in Boston. I lived in New England for a while, but I never lived in Boston and stuff as an adult, but I've been dealing with it my whole life. Pickers, you got any questions for him?
Yeah, I mean, we talked a lot about your jiu-jitsu background. You said you train jiu-jitsu 5-6 times a week. I'd love to get your take on those. I don't know if you had a chance to watch them or if you already went straight to the after party. The Pit Submission Series, we had some pretty fantastic matches. What was your favorite, and what are you looking forward to?
The Pit Submission Series is sick. I think the Pit, and I said this to all my teammates when I came home, I think the Pit is the future in general, whether it's I would like to see MMA in the Pit. That'd just be crazy. Just full-blown MMA. Karate Combat, obviously, is amazing in the Pit. The Submission Series is awesome. It's funny because a couple months ago, I was just in Vegas watching Wagner Rocha at ADC's, and then I just fought on the same card as him. It's crazy. But his match and then the jumping triangle armbar off the Pit those are my 2 favorite. That was actually insane.
Yeah, we were just talking about that earlier. That was I'm telling you, nobody's done it yet, and I'm gonna do it. I'm not gonna say it because then somebody's gonna do it. I got a good meme for that one. I'm gonna throw together after the show. But could we see you in the Pit Submission one day? Because listen, bro, your submissions are A1. I've seen you choke up and ball up a few people like crumble paper. So I would love to see you in there. Is there a potential, like maybe somebody you've seen in the BJJ scene, like that you've previously fought, like previously had a matchup with, or always wanted a matchup with that you would potentially want to fight potentially want to go up against in the Pit Submission?
I don't have any names as far as jiu-jitsu. Honestly, I feel like I'm one of the better MMA grapplers, around. Anybody once we step in the cage, I can put you to sleep. But pure jujitsu, I've never really competed on like the world stage, and that's another one of my goals is I want to face world class grapplers. I know that I can go to a local tournament and smoke most of the guys, and then towards the end there might be some other high level guys that'll give me some work. But I just want to be competing at the highest level. Like I said, karate combat, MMA, jujitsu. Down the road, I grew up watching Rocky. I got to get some boxing fights in before I retire, but I want to fight the best. I want to go against the best, and I feel like that's really the best measuring stick for my skill set. I can go grapple Joe Schmo down the street, but if I could get in the pit submission series with a world class killer and submit them, now I can actually sit back and be like, I'm pretty good at this jujitsu thing.
Respect. I would love to see it, man, and hopefully they can get you in there. Maybe in between. I think we've had a karate combat fighter like in between fights actually do pit submission. Also, we've had Aljamain Sterling and a few other guys come in from the UFC in between their fights and do it. So definitely something that's possible. I would love to see it.
Down.
I got one big question, but I want to let Pickers and Tyson, if y'all got any more quick questions y'all want to ask them before we have to let them go.
Yeah, I have one thing, but first I also just want to get in on those favorite teams things because I'm a little bit of a splitter.
Oh, God.
I'm a Yankees and Patriots fan.
Oh, my God.
How does that work?
I'm out of here. This is
Connecticut,
insane.
both
He's
part
off
New
the
England and
podcast.
the tri-state.
He's off the podcast, MMA Pickers. This is blasphemous. He said Yankees and bro. Oh my God.
I've never heard anybody in my life that's a Patriots and a Yankees fan. That's a new one for me.
No.
Disbelief. The fact that you would mention the Yankees and New England in the same sentence.
It's crazy.
I'm actually like,
And
this is
Connecticut
the way
both
you
part
end.
New England
This is the
and
way you end the interview with Joey. This is the way you end the interview with Joey, huh? Jesus, this guy. The fuck. All right. That's hilarious though. Okay, so just know not to talk to you until after football season's over. Got it. Understood.
Okay, but the question was, you mentioned that where your karate background came in with your buddy. I know a lot of karate combat fans are really strong karate fans, and they really get behind the people with actual karate experience. So I want you to talk a little bit about that so you can start getting those fans on your side too.
Yeah, for sure. Like I said, I had already been training MMA for years, and I moved in with my buddy. And I didn't know at the time. He'd fought amateur MMA, and then he was like, "Oh yeah, I'm actually like a karate black belt." And I was like, "That's sick. My kicks suck. I need some help." And so he started coming down to my old gym where I was training at the time, and we would do jiu-jitsu class, we would spar, and then afterwards he would just pull me aside, and we were just training, hip mobility, flexibility, certain kicks. Things like that, and even down to like I'm a huge Stephen Wonderboy Thompson fan. I always joke around that I'm like the poor man's Wonderboy. So like I've watched so many videos of him, and that's actually how between my amateur and pro MMA fights, in between going pro, my striking improved so much. Was watching thousands and thousands of hours of Stephen Thompson videos. So then going to my buddy and being like, "Yo, Stephen Thompson does this and that," and I saw in an interview he actually uses his like katas mid fight. So now we're going over katas and stuff. So it's always just really cool to be able to work a pure martial art, just like I said, I'm super confident in my MMA grappling, but being able to work pure gi or no gi grappling is always so much more interesting to me because I look at MMA like there's almost cheats. Like people always go, "What's your favorite guard pass?" And I'm like, "Oh, my favorite guard pass? I just do this." And guys open their legs because they don't want to get punched in the face. Obviously that doesn't work in jiu-jitsu. But yeah, so now you take pure karate and just training with him in certain things, especially like point sparring. Like when we would do like point sparring rounds, he was demolishing me because you just have to connect, you just have to land. And I wasn't ready for that. I'm trying to like set up combos and all these things. So it was really cool being able to work another pure martial art to add to my background.
Yeah, a lot of people don't know this, but up until GSP's last fight, he brought in point karatekas to spar, including Mallory Woods was sparring with GSP before the Michael Bisping fight.
Yeah, man, it's different. It's different. Like they're wrapping their foot around your head, you don't even see it coming. I'm like, what?
Yeah, insane.
If the opportunity presents itself, I'll definitely try to push for a sensei session with Wonderboy for you.
I appreciate that.
I was about to say he's definitely one of the ambassadors for karate combat. Definitely.
I was really hoping he'd be at the last fights. I know his last fight went rough. But he looked great, man. He looked great until the end.
Yeah, he does. He does watch parties, and he does watch parties where he like reviews the fights and stuff like that. So you might actually have a good review from Stephen Wonderboy Thompson coming out real soon that you could be able to post, because he does watch the fights. I don't know if he does it, like some of them he does live and some of them he goes back and watch, but definitely amazing. I was upset, and I was happy for Joaquin because I love him, but I was very upset about Stephen. We talked about it on the show. It was a tough one for us karate fans, because a lot of us are true karate fans. We love karate. We all grew up watching Bruce Lee and the rest of the guys, and we love to see Stephen Wonderboy Thompson as somebody who's doing it like in real life in an insane setting. So, but yeah, man, I hope that comes through for you. Before we let you go, we got Marcus Perez coming on next, and but I want to ask you, what was the biggest lesson that you've learned, like win or loss or whatever, in your MMA career that helped like shape your approach to winning and fighting?
So it's super funny you just asked that, because I kind of just made a post that almost answers this question. And it's something that I'm working on all the time, and I tell people all the time, and people think I'm always too rough on myself. Just being grateful, after a win or after a loss. Like this last week at Karate Combat, no matter how hard my life or my career fighting or whatever, how difficult it ends up getting or doesn't, I'm going to remember a week like this and be grateful for it, because I had so much fun. Everybody from Karate Combat was so awesome, from even just, booking the fight to having the driver come up at the airport and all that stuff, the media day and, before, during, after the fights. I was very blessed to go through a week like that, especially, like I said, I've been a fan of Karate Combat. I've watched it. I never thought I'd actually have an opportunity to fight for Karate Combat. So having that weekend, I'm still so grateful for it. Like I said, this is probably the longest I've ever rode a high off of a win. Usually it's literally like, I joke people all the time. After my fights, my dad usually texts me. I work with him. He'll usually say, "Great job. You looked awesome. Don't forget you have work on Monday." So it's like usually Monday, I'm right back to work. I'm right back in the gym. Everybody, shakes my hand. That was awesome. And then it's like, all right, when's the next fight? When's the next this? But this has been one that like all week I've woken up and just like somebody's reposting that kick. And I'm like, wow, I did that. Like that happened. Like Karate Combat's sick.
Yeah, for sure. The fans love you. You definitely made a big statement. Like we said, the kick was insane. Brandon Jenkins is a vet, great fighter, somebody I'm very fond of as well.
Super cool.
Yeah, super cool dude. I've talked to him multiple times about just martial arts and like the improvements and the things he doesn't like in the league. And he's a very, very well knowledgeable person. He's in a great gym with Syndicate. Like,
I love Syndicate.
Yeah. And you guys had a great fight, up until the unfortunate ending for him. But anything that you want to say to the Karate Combat fans or your fans in general before we let you go? We'd like to give you a chance to just speak your piece or whatever. And yeah, man, is there anything you want to get off your chest?
Yeah, I mean, everybody that's been supporting me for years and years, I always appreciate it. So if you ever think I don't see, obviously this fight especially, I didn't get back and say thank you to everybody, but thank you to everybody. My phone was literally not functioning, like not just Instagram and socials, like my phone was blowing up. I couldn't even use it. It was like a brick. So thank you to everybody that's been supporting me, everybody that just saw me for the first time that's now a fan. Welcome. We got plenty more in store. I'm excited for the next fight, whenever that is, as soon as possible, honestly. And then November 16th, I am doing a Tap Cancer Out grappling tournament. Basically, we have a fundraising page, me and a few of my teammates. All the donations go to that page, and then Tap Cancer Out takes it and gives it to the organizations they work with to help with cancer research. I just posted it actually today. There's a QR code you can scan that brings you to the page to donate, or you can grab a shirt from me online, and all the profits go to that page. We're looking for sponsors to do like some giveaways and raffles and stuff. Same thing. All the money's going to go to the page. Just something cool to do. I'm a competitor. I like to compete, and, we make a day out of it. We drive up there as a team, compete, have fun, raise money, and then stop for food on the way back and just hang out. So if you're looking to sponsor, just donate to our page. I'll throw your logo wherever it needs to go. If you want to buy a shirt to help out, if you want to just flat out donate, it all goes to cancer research.
Oh man, listen, that's a beautiful thing y'all doing. And let's get you. When did you say you're doing the event again?
November 16th.
November 16th. So let's get you back on again. Let's go more in depth on that. Let's talk more. Get you some support on that. I know MMA Pickers is big in the jiu-jitsu scene. Mac Tyson knows everybody, so I'm pretty sure if we put all of our heads together, we could definitely help you get some more donations in there. I'm trying to look for the link for it. on your Twitter. Did you say you just posted it today, right?
I posted it on Instagram, and then I can send you
Instagram.
the link for it. I posted it the other day on Twitter, but I could pull it up again. I'll DM it to you.
Yeah. Just shoot me a DM and I'll make sure I post it in the chat. That way people can find it. We'll try to get it pumped out there.
Thank you.
Yeah, I want a t-shirt.
Huh? Yeah, I do
I
too.
want a t-shirt.
Yeah, I
JanettiMMA.com.
T-shirts.
T-shirts are there. Like I said, they're only $25. I think they cost like $8 or $9 to make. So all that profit is going to go right to the fundraiser page.
Beautiful. Love to hear it. Well, listen, man, we gonna let you go. Get some of that sparkling zero. I'm
Yes,
gonna
sir.
tune in. I followed you. Where you gonna stream on?
I'm
Also,
gonna be
yeah.
on Twitch and Kick today.
Okay, so make sure y'all follow him on Twitch and Kick. Actually, I got those links right here. Here we go. Boom.
I have a great idea. You and Owen should stream a game and battle for a limited edition Funko Pop.
Ooh, I like that.
So I just dropped all the links to find Joe. His YouTube, his Kick, his TikTok. I'm pretty sure his Twitch is the same exact thing as is the same thing, right?
Yep.
Giannetti MMA.
Yeah,
So
I try to keep it simple. My name's complicated as is.
Yeah. So if you guys want to follow him over there, please send him some follows, man. Like you said, also creating content outside of working and fighting. This man just does it all, man. You just gotta give him the props where the props is due. You just gotta give it to him, man. But we appreciate your time, man, for sure. Definitely excited to see you back in karate combat soon. I'm definitely gonna be texting Leo like, listen, I try to use a little bit of clout I got, so well, I definitely want to see you back in there for sure. And we gotta get you back on the show for sure. But like I said, this is my guy Joe Giannetti. See you later, brother.
Thank you guys. I'll talk to you later.